Actually, running has really saved my life. In my early 20s, I was having all kinds of problems with my family, with my girlfriend, with my co-workers. Anyways, I was not equipped to deal with the problems which I faced at that time. Luckily, I ended up running a marathon in 1991. And what happened was, I was not prepared to do the marathon, but in the process, I released a lot of pain. All the frustration, the anger, resentment, victimization were released in the process. So my body was able to express what I could not express myself. So that was a saving grace for me. Really, in retrospect, I was so messed up that when I was, sleeping in my apartment, when the phone rang, I would get diarrhea. So I was really short-fused, short-circuited, and really stressed out for a number of reasons. Last time we talked about the transformers we all have. How we see the world, how we see the events of the world, how we see our family members. And then we take those events to mean something for ourselves. And then as a result, we end up happy or angry. So the transformer I had in my mind at the time was converting many things into angry responses. So I was very angry, quite upset, and I was suffering from insomnia. I used to lay in my bed in my apartment, and I would see the sunlight come up from behind the red curtain. The lining in the back of the curtain was white. So I would see the white, and I would see the sunlight hit the white part of the curtain, and then I would see the light somewhat penetrate through the red part of the curtain. So it was hell. Not being able to sleep is a very uncomfortable experience. I'm not sure how many of you have experienced it, but it was a very, very bad thing. At that time, if I had gone into drinking heavily, which I've done at one point in my life, or using drugs, or God knows, whatever I could have done, luckily I didn't do anything like that, but instead, because my brother-in-law and one of my best friends, Ali, I got into running, and we decided to run the marathon with 2 months training, and I had never run before in my life. So here I was at the ninth mile mark in Los Angeles, and I looked up and I was in shock. I said, what am I doing here? I'm not a runner. I should be home watching TV. So by the time I get to the 12th mile, I was in so much pain. My pinkies were killing me. And I kept on going, and I was in so horrific, excruciating pain. So my mind started to play games with me. I started to think, oh yeah, the skin has come off the flesh, and the flesh has come off, and now the bone is exposed, because I felt so much pain, such physical excruciating pain. So finally, at the 16th mile, I stopped. I said, okay, I have to stop and check it out. So I ran into the first aid tent, took off my shoes. All that happened was my pinkies turned into big blisters. So it was a lot of pain, but really just blisters. I mean, the entire toe was blistered over, right around from the bottom all the way up to the toenails. So I said, fine, I'm not going to lose my toe. So I put my shoes, my socks back on, and I kept on going. And then towards the end, I was going like this, like every single step. I had so much pain. It was really quite a cathartic experience. So I released lots of my stress, my anger, my frustration, my resentments, which was a saving grace, because the transformer which I talked about last time in the first teaser leading up to the family's golden system is that I was converting a lot of things in my life, and I could not process it, being a very simple-minded bumpkin from where I grew up, from my experiences in life. I was not prepared to handle the kind of problems I perceived around me. So what happened was I went into fight or flight, right? Fight or flight, and I tended to fight. I got angry. I called my mother names. I did all kinds of things. I broke up with all my friends and so on. But the point is, I expressed my pain. It was expressed. I was not very strong to say, okay, I'm gonna keep it in, and I will behave properly, and I will go on. A couple of things about the mind, about the transformer. When the transformer is working, whether it is real, fantasy, or reality, the body doesn't know. Which we all know. If you think of food, when you are very hungry, you could salivate, right? Even though the food is not there. So that's a principle that the mind cannot tell the difference between fantasy and reality. For example, imagine you are hungry now. It's a hot summer day, as it is in Los Angeles right now. If I say, think of mango, think of a delicious yellow mango that's ice cold and that's really tasty, it's juicy. And if I say, don't think about the mango, don't think about how the mango tastes like, don't think about how wonderful it would be to have this most delicious mango. Notice, if you're hungry, when I talk about the mango, you would salivate. Then, how to deal with life and not to give up. That's one thing, but to be very tough, I think works against oneself. And I'm saying this, all of these things, not because I think I know better than anybody else. It is just an attempt to help. Because if you have gone through chemotherapy, you have gone through surgery, you have taken all kinds of medication, you have consulted all the doctors in the world, I'm just asking you to consider the quality of the mind and the body-mind connection, because some people say the best pharmacy in the world is your mind. The mind is capable of creating an endorphin, similar to a substance like chocolate, which the brain secretes when you are in love. This is all common sense. I know you know this. But remember, every judgment, every negative thoughts, every angry thoughts, every fight and flight response that's created by your thought, your body is processing. So every single cell in the body has awareness. The cell can sense what's going on through the hormones in the bloodstream. And you have experienced aches and pains in different parts of the body. So each cell has awareness, and the cells are constantly listening. So be very careful to make sure you think compassionate thoughts. When I write emails nowadays, I sign my email with many thanks, and I think to myself, okay, I wish the very best to these people, to this person, to this group of people. Best wishes to you, best wishes, best wishes. And pretty soon this grateful feeling, this positive emotion wells up within me. So this is very much common sense. I know, I don't mean to waste your time and insult your intelligence, but I do ask you to really monitor every single one of your thoughts, because every single cell in your body is listening. People say thoughts of love are works of love, or words of love are works of love. Just think about the fact that the mind cannot tell the difference between fantasy and reality, and it doesn't understand no. So protect yourself, be very selfish, preserve yourself by thinking only of good thoughts of everything. And thank you very much for your time, and I'll talk to you next time. Okay, bye-bye.